Hello. A few weeks ago, I vlogged my portfolio career and it was a disaster. I had the most amazing week lined up and I really thought I was going to show you like the variety of the work that I do. And instead, pretty much every clip was me going, I'm fucking exhausted, I'm just drained. I actually thought, do you know what? I am going to attempt another week where we try it, take some of those lessons, some of the things that I've learned, the reflections I've had from it, and put them into practice this week, and then try and document that, and we can compare and contrast. This vlog is actually starting on a Sunday. The reason is because since I've gone self-employed, I don't have the same 9-to-5 structure that I once was kind of bound by, I guess. I think it's a positive thing. Looking at my week ahead, I have early birthday celebrations with some girlfriends next weekend. We're going to Suffolk for the weekend, which means I'm not going to work Friday. For me to set myself up for the week in a way that's going to be really successful, I'm actually chosen to spend a few hours this afternoon getting everything that is out of my head onto paper, go through what I need to delegate to Ash, my VA. I've got a meeting with my business partner for my new business tomorrow, everything I want to have in that conversation. And so that I really go into the week setting myself up for success, just being really clear, like by the end of the week, what do I want to have achieved? I'm going into it in a much better headspace. I think I've made a vlog where I tried out the productivity method and I have been using it since. I'm going to use that to just basically this afternoon get everything out and then turn that into a few things where I just start delegating work, block things out in my diary. I've got some filming for a brand partnership to do. And also, as a treat for this, I have just booked myself a massage for this afternoon. Someone's coming to my house. I just fucking love massages. Just get rid of all this tension in my back, across my shoulders. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how achy I am. Also, I've had 4 PT sessions this week and we went quite hard yesterday. Yeah, I just feel a bit fucked. So I've gone and got myself a little coffee. Here we are. I'm gonna sit here and just get everything out of my head before I start. So I always like to work to music. And at the time of filming this, Spotify have just come out with their 20-year anniversary and there's like this all-time, your all-time top songs playlist. Oh my God, it is amazing. I mean, obviously it's amazing because it's a completely personal preference. Like my top played song ever is Loose Ends by Laura Kana. Yeah, there's a lot of Maribou State on here. There's a lot of soul, like it's so good. So I am gonna play that while I work. Yeah. Oh, let's get it on speaker. Right, I'm gonna crack on. Reply to this email enthusiastically. State that I've been on holiday for the last couple of weeks to play catch up. Okay, I've done about an hour and I have got through so much. I have cleared through so much of my email. And interestingly, someone that was on my to-do list contact WhatsApped me and was like, I don't mean to nag you, but I just want to get it on your radar. And it's actually someone offering to help me. And I'm so hyper independent that I struggle to accept help. And I was like, do you know what, fuck it, I am. So I've gone back to her. I have cleared through like things that I need to do. I've sent off some stuff to my bookkeeper. And also I've just sent an apology to someone because last night I went on LinkedIn before bed and I saw someone that had written this post and it just really like triggered clearly something in me that just made me feel like I left a bit of a catty remark. They were basically this week, like LinkedIn had announced their top voices. So people in the industry that are recognised for their leadership, how they inspire people, motivate people, educate people, whatever. And I was named as a top voice, which I was very, very proud of. And they kind of pointed out that like they have all these followers and they're not top voice. And like it was obviously a bit sarcastic, but I was just like, oh man, you don't need to shoot down other people's like successes or achievements. And I've noticed this person had done it over a few other things. And I just think generally within the industry, anytime there's any like awards or events where people are speaking or whatever, there's always just someone that comes out that tries to discredit the people that have won it. Do you know what? Like someone else's success does not take away from yours. I just left this comment that says like, you only show up my feed when you're like bitter or frustrated about someone else's success. And maybe that's why you've not been named as a top voice. I do think there's truth in it, but it wasn't cool. So I've just sent an apology saying, sorry. I'm very direct, but I'm not unkind, and that felt unkind. So like mentally, it was just weighing me down today because I was just like, oh, I shouldn't have sent that. So yeah, I just hold my hands up. I'm not perfect. One of my challenges at the moment is I'm trying to organise lots of meetings for things that can move things forward for my new business careering. But I've got loads of client days booked in over the next couple of months, and I'm also going to Cannes at the end of June. Trying to fit everything in, I hate being this person that's like quite unavailable, because there's some things that actually would be really helpful to like move things forward. And sometimes I think they do go beyond just an initial chat on video call, which I've had with some people, but now I want to meet them in person. So I'm just trying to literally organise my diary. Also, at the time of filming this, it's my birthday next week, so I'm away for a few days. Then I'm taking my nephew to Paris for the day. The good thing about being self-employed is like I can take days off during the week and then work at weekends, and I kind of balance myself that way. But it just means it's like then days out of the week that I can't meet people, because obviously the majority of people work Monday to Friday 9 to 5. So just juggling that, but I'm absolutely starving. I'm going to try and find something to eat. But you know when I've done a really healthy food shop and I want none of that? Oh, that's what I'm going to have. I'm going to have some dumplings. One of the best things I did in this flat when I bought it was put in a hot water tap, like a boiling water tap. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Okay, let's make some dumplings. Also, I've got a family call with my parents and my sisters because it's my dad's birthday today. So yeah, we're going to have a nice little family catch up. Okay, I've hit the wall. I've done the task that I've been putting off that I wanted to get done today, and I'm finding it really hard. I'm working on a brand partnership and sent off the concepts. It's been signed off, but I'm feeling a little lost, and it just doesn't feel like I'm starting to write down some notes. I don't script stuff. I'm starting to write some notes. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel interesting. I don't think people would watch it, so I'm just hit the wall. But I'm going to have a call with my family, then I'm going to have a massage, and then I'll come back to it because it's due tomorrow, even though I wanted a call with the client before I filmed it, but that hasn't happened. So it's a bit icky. But I'm still proud of myself for getting through some big chunky stuff today. Although, is it the stuff I should have done? No. That's maybe a little bit of a lesson, but I have got tonight. I just didn't really want to do loads tonight because I want to watch the next episode of Rivals. It's currently 6:46 and I've been up since about 4:15. I woke up with loads on my mind. I was meant to have a PT session at 7, but my PT Karen is an angel and just basically knew that I had a massage yesterday. My back's really sore and I've got just so much work on today. Today's just like quite an intense day, and bless her, she's just like, it's my orders, please go back to bed. I'm not going to go back to bed. But having an hour extra now has really saved me. I've just got a few things on my mind. I'm fully transparent. I'm working on a brand partnership at the moment, and I sent the concepts last week and then I got a deadline back, but I haven't been able to meet the deadline because I've just been working. And I think this is what I wanted to like have a call with a client to agree the deadlines before the deadline was just given to me, because that's like it doesn't take into account like my workload. And then if we'd have had the call and agreed it, then I would have put in something where I could have met the deadline, whereas now it looks like I failed because they've given me a deadline without checking that I can meet the deadline. So that's made me, I don't know, it's just really played on my mind because I don't want to ever come across as difficult to work with. And I think this is the difference between a creator who is a full-time content creator versus someone that's like a creator that makes content about their job or whatever. Is I work. I do work and then I do this. Yeah, it's not like I spend my days making content. I spend my days like doing work and then fitting this around it. I just feel like on the back foot, which is not a great way to start Monday. But I know that actually this hour that my PT's given back, I'm going to use it as a bit of a power hour. And I can guarantee in an hour or so's time when I'm like, or 2 hours time when I've done that and I've showered and got ready for the day, I'll feel fine. But yeah, I think it's dawning on me more and more and more that I really need to start reducing my marketing work now, because it's starting to have a detriment on the stuff that brings in more money. So yeah, I love the marketing work I do. I love the clients I have, but essentially I can earn more as a creator and speaker than I can my day rate or in the marketing world. So when is the penny going to drop for me? I've certainly changed my tune. I'm feeling a hell of a lot better now. I've just sat down and got through some work. I've got this key ring on my set of keys. It says, I'll get over it. I just need to be dramatic first. And I just feel like I've embodied that this morning. I was feeling so panicked. I have had a terrible night's sleep. And then I've sat down for like an hour and just bashed through some stuff that's in my head. Been very transparent about like what I'm actually capable of doing like by myself versus sometimes I need to push back or ask for help or whatever. And now I feel so much better. I've got my first call of the day in 15 minutes. I've got 2 calls this morning, then I'm heading out and doing some filming today. I'm also meeting my business partner to talk through some plans and like what we're doing around launch. So I was not feeling good 2 hours ago. And now that I've done some work, put some makeup on, and I'm just giving myself a bit of shake, I've turned it around. So that's a good start. Oh my God, the day just keeps getting better. Mainly because one of my calls was delegating some work to someone who's I'm bringing in on a project, and just knowing that that's going to be simmering away while I'm doing other bits today, and then we're going to catch up tomorrow. It just feels really good, and this is what I have to keep reminding myself. Rather than me asking for help or bringing in others is seen as like I can't do it myself. It's actually when I delegate, we all win. I just feel like a whole weight has lifted. Like all these things that were keeping me wide awake at 4:30. Now 5 hours on, just not there. Yeah, I'm in the car now. I've got half an hour drive ahead of me. I'm going to make some phone calls and crack on with the day. But yeah, check in with you in a bit. I was meant to be filming for 4 hours this afternoon, and it ended up only taking an hour and a half speedy work, which meant I'm home a few hours earlier than expected. The start of the day felt really flat, really like I was getting off on the wrong foot, but I gave myself a bit of a talking to and I've turned it around. So just because I had a bad morning doesn't mean we're going to have a bad week. That's what I'm telling myself. Oh, also one thing I have been doing is delegating. So some bits that have come in today, I've been sharing them with my VA. There's someone else that I'm working with a project on. I've just been forwarding them that work. It just feels like I am really getting better at delegating. Also, I had a amazing session with my business partner that I'm launching careering with, and we just got like through a load of stuff on my to-do list. We said that we really need to get together in person a bit more regularly. Yeah, so it feels really good. It feels like I am taking lessons for how I've done things wrong so many times and putting them into practice. So let's see if that can continue throughout the week. Oh my gosh, today has been an absolute turn up for the books. The amount that I've actually got done has been incredible. I have ploughed through some stuff. I asked for some help from two freelancers that helped me on 2 very different things today. Both have absolutely pulled through, and I actually feel like I'm taking my own advice here and listening to like what went wrong last time when I tried to like vlog my portfolio career and everything that I was just taking on too much myself. Yeah, just not good. And today has turned that around. I feel like I've set myself up for success.
Good morning. I was doom scrolling last night and just before bed, and I found a quote that has really stuck with me, and I woke up with a fresh sense of perspective. It says, stop measuring days by degree of productivity and start experiencing them by degree of presence. You know, I'm guilty of this, feeling like I need to be productive. But actually, the goal for me is exactly that, doing things so that when I am doing non-work things, I am fully present, I'm engaged in conversation. You know, my phone's turned down the other side and I'm not thinking about something. And then there was a caption that went with it. I'll read some of it. In today's world, productivity often feels like the ultimate goal. We measure our worth by how much we accomplish in a day. Tasks completed, deadlines met, goals achieved. While productivity has its place, this mindset can make us feel like we're always rushing, always doing, and never truly living. Experiencing life by degree of presence means paying attention to the moments as they happen. It's about slowing down to truly enjoy a conversation, savour a meal, or notice the beauty of the world around you. Instead of focusing on how much you get done, you focus on how deeply you connect with what you're doing. For example, imagine spending time with a loved one. Productivity might look like checking off errands or planning something grand, but presence means genuinely laughing, listening and sharing the moment. One creates memories, the other just fills time. And look, the reality is, most of us have to work, so there will always be an element of productivity that is helpful. But I think that repositioning of why am I doing this is incredibly helpful. So that's how I'm starting my day today. I'm off to South by Southwest. I've got a whole day of talks and sessions to listen to, and then a couple of happy hours this evening. And I won't lie, I've woken up feeling like shit. My throat is so sore. I don't feel very sociable today. I know it'll be fine, it'll be a lovely day, but when I'm feeling not 100% physically, it's gonna take a lot out of me. So I'm just a little bit wary of that. So I'm just gonna try and get my head down, take loads of notes from all of these talks. I've got such an amazing lineup on my schedule. Let me show you. I mean, that's assuming hopefully I'll get to all of these sessions, but the topics that I've noted down: comfort is costing us connection, why we need immigrants, attention is a new intelligence, are we afraid of doing the wrong things, the roundtable all about risk. There's some really, really interesting stuff here. So today is about being present. So let's see if I can, because actually I won't get any work done in terms of other work and things. It is all about literally moving from venue to venue, to session to really listen intently. So let's see if I can focus on really being present today. Also, it'd be remiss of me to wear this outfit and not show you. It's a gorgeous little cord from Rowan Zoe, and then I'm just going to chuck on, oh my god, this is sound to me. Chuck this on with it. Morning. I have had a terrible night's sleep. I was still awake at 1:30. I think I eventually got to bed about 2 and then woke up at 5, woke up at 6. I went to South by Southwest London yesterday, and it was so interesting. Kind of where I left yesterday was around, we focused so much on productivity, but what about presence? And that was weirdly like a lot of what I took out of the talk. There were 3 standout sessions that I went to for me that had a bit of a theme around them, and let me talk you through them. So first of all, there was a session, and forgive me, I can't remember the name of it. I think it was something like comfort over connection, or basically something about how we end up being a bit glued to our phones to the point that it becomes quite antisocial. So for example, as soon as we're on our own, on a bus, at a restaurant, whatever, we just get our phones out and it stops us socialising. And it was with the CEO from Hinge. She was phenomenal. I found her incredibly interesting. And both her and another talk I went to, which was from the CEO of Opal, which is like a focus app. I used it for about a year actually, and it's basically you download the app, you say, look, these are the hours I want to focus and I don't want to access certain apps, and it blocks them for you. But he was saying that we're in this kind of era where social media has absolutely transformed like how we make connections, how we speak to people. And now with generative AI, what it will do is shape like where we form intimacy. And actually there's a huge, huge rise for people using AI for things like therapy. And look, I won't lie, I've definitely put some personal stuff in there just to kind of get a sense check. What both the Opal CEO and the Hinge CEO were saying is people are now starting to turn to AI more than they're turning to their friends for these conversations, because the idea is like, oh, I don't want to burden my friends. But actually you're absolutely losing the connection, the nuance, the bonding that comes with that. And we're in danger of like, a younger generation just not being able to have conversations or communicate, which is incredibly worrying in an era where, it's like, oh, AI is going to transform the workspace. Absolutely it is, the same way the internet has, But there's almost 2 avenues that people using AI can go down. And one is very much seeing it as a tool that can take things off your plate in order for you to be more present. Or you can use it as a tool that actually you end up becoming almost like so reliant on that it is more damaging to your relationships than ever. When we hear people talk about how AI is going to transform the workplace, for me, where I think it's going to massively transform is it's going to very quickly separate the people that have the ability to question something, think critically, communicate. I really saw it with the Hinge CEO. I thought there was something she was saying that's really interesting that oh my God, I absolutely agree, really see. She was like, on the internet, so many people talking black and whites. And the reason she was asked this is she was asked the question, are dating apps a net positive or net negative? A good thing or a bad thing? She was like, I just don't think it's as binary as that. And actually, that's half the problem we see online, but also in leadership, is this idea of like so many bad leaders don't think about nuance. Look, there's a big scale, right? There's like, you have to be really decisive and really honed in on something. And there are elements of leadership where you have to, kind of be quite singular. But actually, there's a whole scale and another end of the spectrum where things are really, spectrum, where things are really nuanced and need to be picked apart. And that's why she was talking about how, she's such a big advocate, and rightly so, for inclusion, because when you open up a room full of lots of people, with breadth of experience, nationalities, races, lived experience, all sorts of stuff, you get to pick apart a problem or something in a much more interesting way. And then finally, I went to a round table. I've never sat in a round table before in this way. And the topic was, are we afraid of the wrong things? And it was all around risk and how we see risk. The woman who hosted it, her name is Holly Budge. She's like an ex-skydiving camerawoman. She was like the first woman, I think, to skydive ever. Anyway, she was phenomenal. And around the table, there was maybe, I think there was 10 of us. The youngest person there was 19, the oldest person was about to turn 60. A whole different, someone was a tech journalist, someone was a scientist, someone was a stand-up comedian, someone was a conservationist, absolutely such a huge breadth of people there. It was fascinating to see so many different perspectives. Sorry, I'm really meandering because I'm trying to gather my thoughts as I'm explaining it. But I just think I sat in this room and I was like, wow, this power to connect with people and hear of, people's experiences that outside of your friendship circle, or your workspace or whatever. I don't hang out with 19-year-olds, but she gave me really interesting perspectives on things. Hopefully I gave her an interesting perspective on things. And actually, with all of these things, you realise we're way more similar than we think we are. I think that's quite beautiful, the ability to connect and find connection with people who, may feel on paper, what have I got in common with a 19-year-old? I'm sure she thought the same about me. But yeah, it was really interesting. And actually, one of the things we had to do around the table was pull up different cards and talk about whether that makes us feel fearful or not. And one of them was around this notion of running out of time and what's the first thing that came to mind. And I was talking about having children. I'm 42 now. The reality is there's choices I've made that have probably unconsciously made me go, yeah, maybe that's not for me. The realisation that in my 20s and 30s, that was something that was so hell-bent on, that's going to happen to me, that's going to happen to me. Never say never, I'm not against it. But also, it would fundamentally change my life so much. And I'm not necessarily sure for the better. So I don't feel like I'm running out of time. I don't have fear around it. And it's interesting that a topic that for so long I wasted so much time being upset about things because I really thought the be and end all was having children. Now that fear is gone. And if I have children, great. If I don't have children, equally great. I think my life's going to be really interesting. And I don't necessarily think children are going to be a part of that. But yeah, and maybe it's the first time I'm probably saying that out loud. But I don't feel fearful about not having kids. And I think that's because I've purposely gone and spent my time with people that are older. And I think so many of us fear things because we cannot see it or we haven't got experience of being around it. And this is why opening up your world is so important. And this is why, all of this stuff around AI, if you're using it to shrink your world, then it's really problematic. Whereas if you're using it to be more present and to be able to have a capacity to explore and meet new people and have conversations, all of a sudden your world just gets so much bigger. So yeah, that was really interesting. And I think, that's exactly how I hope to use it. And it did make me go, oh God, I know there's definitely been a couple of times in bed where something's been on my mind and I've gone, oh fuck, let me just dictate into an LLM and see what comes out. But that's hopefully a very temporary thing. And actually what I am learning to do with friends is to have, enjoy much deeper conversations. I think it's way more interesting. But yeah, it's been quite eye-opening. So anyway, I'm getting ready to go meet a colleague for a coffee to debrief on some work and brief on some other work. And then I'm coming back and I've got client afternoon and I've got PT later and I really feel like dog shit. So I'm just going to absolutely dose up and then hopefully get through the day. Okay, check in with you later.
Where are we going?
We're going to Paris. Eiffel Tower. Whoop whoop.
It's 7:45 in the morning. I've got to leave for work in like 10 minutes. It's currently 22 degrees, so it's going to be a hot one today. Apparently it's meant to get to 33. So I'll show you what I'm wearing. It's like the loosest outfit I can find. I'd found this quote that said, stop measuring your days by productivity and start measuring them by presence. And that unlocked something in me. And boy, oh boy, did I really try and practice that this weekend. I got to spend it with a group of girlfriends. I took my nephew to Paris yesterday, and I just found myself doing no work, being fully present, having such deep conversation, fun conversation. I laughed so much. I danced so much. I feel like I've lived a little bit this weekend, which is really, really nice. And I mean, it sounds a bit ridiculous, but I think there was this moment where, I just start to feel like, okay, this is what I'm doing my work for, but I need to experience life, not just get through it. And I think there's maybe a lot of us that, there's always those jokes about like adulthood being, I just got to get through this week. And then that just goes on for like years and years and years. I don't want to live a life like that. Yes, I wanted to document this week to show, look, I am trying to get better at balance, how I feel going into this week versus how I felt at the end of that first vlog I did about my portfolio career, where I just felt so wiped. It feels incredibly different. So I'm clearly taking some lessons here. I feel like this vlog is maybe not what I expected to come out of it feeling like. I think that's a really good thing, because I wanted it to feel different than how I came out of the last vlog. So the last vlog was very much working, no room to enjoy, exhaustion, tears. Whereas this vlog was, I knew I had a few days with my girlfriends and my nephew, so that was going to happen. That just happened. I just happened to pick this week. On the Eurostar back from Paris last night, I did write down things that were on my mind this week. But the biggest shift I noticed was things like I want to delegate rather than do myself, or like what needs to get done and how could I not optimize my time. Because I did just literally see a video this morning. It was a guy basically talking about like optimization. Have we like optimized to the point? Are we optimizing our lives to the point we're not enjoying it? And he said we have surrendered ourselves to the tyranny of measurement and forgotten what it means to live. And he was kind of talking about, the Brian Johnston, the man that wants to like live forever. And then he showed a clip of like Stephen Bartlett, who was saying like, I had 3 glasses of red wine, it ruined my sleep, and everything's like whoop data. Like everyone's banging on their fucking aura rings. Isn't the purpose of life to experience it? I'm feeling quite joyful this morning. When I was with girlfriends this weekend, they bought me a birthday cake, and as I blew out the candle, they were like, what do you want to feel this year? And I was like, what do you want hope for this year? And I was like, I just want to feel joy. I think that has to show up in my personal life as well as my work life. I've said this time and time again, and I'm sure I will continue to say it. I don't have a dream job, I have a dream lifestyle, and work facilitates that. And so much of that lifestyle, the ultimate goal is to have freedom of time and to be able to make choices and spend it with who I want to spend it and how I want to spend it. And this weekend felt like a really good version of that. So I'm proud of myself for finding a little bit more balance. I'm proud of myself for being able to switch off, and that is this shift from corporate life to being self-employed. I cannot tell you how hard I found that, like being able to switch off. Like I never really had that in corporate life. Like yes, I would go through periods of work where there were things on my mind, but I still would enjoy weekends. Whereas since I've gone self-employed, it's very, very hard to put boundaries in place yourself. I think the structure of a 9 to 5, I actually realised how beneficial that was for me. But I just wanted to demonstrate that it's not a failure to fuck up. Like that last vlog honestly was so chaotic, and I was so embarrassed at the thought of putting that out. It's only been maybe 2 months, I think, since I filmed that, and the stark contrast like shows that sometimes you often only really learn through failing. I don't even think it's failing, it's just fucking life. And I hate this idea that we have to get things right the first time. You only get better through practice. So I'm just practicing through life. The lesson has been truly learned that there needs to be some balance, and you have to experience life just as much as you might want to optimize it. Sorry, that was really cheesy line. But I think I've really learned a lesson here to try to experience life, not just get through it.